Trump supporters will never get any grace from me because the first time this man ran for office, he talked about grabbing women by the piece. Everybody loved that. And I side-eyed everybody because that means you were siding with somebody who was willing to assault any woman, anytime, any place.
You know, I thought it would be easier the more I talked about leaving MAGA.
Are you starting to regret your vote for MAGA? Welcome to the club.
They don't mean it. They don't mean it.
People do not owe you forgiveness for finally leaving MAGA. They just don't. And I know that that's not a popular sentiment with people, but I completely stand by that.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Mindful Texts. There is a TikTok going viral right now where a woman who previously supported the MAGA movement and voted for Trump 3 times said she has now left MAGA behind. But the reason why the video is blowing up isn't just because she left the movement. It's what is of course expected afterwards. She made the video while in tears, crying that people are not welcoming her with open arms, like people are not sympathizing with her, people are not showing her love because she left that MAGA movement. And the internet of course is blowing up. So many people are reacting to that video. And honestly, it's wild, especially with what is going on right now in the US. So we are going to watch these clips and then we shall give our views in the comments. Let's jump into this. I'll catch up with you.
Are you starting to regret your vote for MAGA? Welcome to the club. But in all seriousness, educate yourself. Educate yourself into what exactly you voted for. Start to figure out where your beliefs actually lie. Do the inner work. Put the mirror in front of yourself. It's one thing to regret your vote, but it's another to actually change what made you want to vote for that. I'm speaking from experience here. I left MAGA in 2025 after beginning to deconstruct my entire life and realized a lot of my beliefs were handed to me. The mirror was put in front of me and I did not like what I saw. I realized that I was allowing my skin color to protect me, and I used it as a privilege and a luxury to ignore things that didn't affect me. If you've made a post about regretting your vote, you're probably getting dragged in the comments, and honestly, that's just a part of the process. My best advice is do not be defensive. If you cannot come with the tail between your legs, don't interact at all. It really is commendable that you have realized that you regret your vote, but there is deeper work that needs to happen in order for restoration in our country to happen, for our democracy to be restored. And it's time to realize that the right has been heavily propagandized to hate the left, and the left is not the enemy. As someone who has been entrenched in both sides now, the left has been heavily propagandized against, and they are not the enemies that we were led to believe. If you've left MAGA or contemplating it, I'd love to connect. And also, I'd love to shout out the organization Leaving MAGA and Rich. Thank you so much for creating this organization for a place for us to go and commiserate with one another, honestly, and just a safe place for us to be. So just to let you know that when you leave, there are places for you to go and a community that is welcoming you and is not going to shame you for your past ignorance. Again, I say all of this with love, and I am proof that people can change, and it might throw your life for a loop, but your soul will thank you. Oh, and one other thing, when you leave MAGA, you can just be nothing. You don't have to claim a political party. You can just say, I no longer subscribe to this. But my advice is definitely educate yourself on what exactly MAGA was supporting and what your ignorance, how it had an effect on this country. Because once you start to do that, I promise you, empathy will start to sink in and your regret will get even deeper.
You know, I thought it would be easier the more I talked about leaving MAGA, being a 3-time Trump voter. But I have to be completely honest with you that it's not getting easier, and it actually feels like it's getting more difficult because I'm gaining more empathy And I don't think people really realize how counterintuitive the hate that I receive when you can take one look at my page and see that I am doing the work. I read a comment this morning that I'm not stitching because I don't want hate to come our way, but you'll understand why I'm reading it. I've been deconstructing from Christianity and left MAGA. I do not speak about it because the hate you receive from the left is no different from the hate you received when you were in the cult. I'm just minding my own business and rewiring my whole belief system. What people don't understand is how hard it is to actually wake up and realize your entire life has been a lie, and now you have to start over from scratch. I'm not going to allow any negativity from anyone into my life. It's hard enough to do this. I can't see. I had to stop and gather myself. Not only that, I'm not going to be a part of any political party or religion ever again, so the expectation of the left thinking we have to vote blue now in order to make amends or something is not something I want to be a part of. The amount of "I'll never forgive you" I see in your last video is enough for me to never try to speak up on anything that's happened to get me here. My entire family is deep Southern conservative Christian Republicans. It's been buried into my whole system since birth. Seeing my truth and removing myself from it has been the hardest thing I've ever done. I don't really know what else to say other than, I don't think that this is what the left wants. You've been shouting for people to wake up for years, and people do. And you just want to harp on, and I get it, that it didn't happen soon enough. And I don't believe that. I can't believe that. I have too much hope in my soul to roll over and die. I don't know what the solution is, but I know it's not to beat people while they're already down.
People do not owe you forgiveness for finally leaving MAGA. They just don't. And I know that that's not a popular sentiment with people, but I completely stand by that. I was scrolling and came across a video of somebody that was in tears because they were talking about how they've been deconstructing and they finally left MAGA, but they don't ever want to be a part of any political party ever again because of the backlash they received. And the backlash, mind you, being people going, "I'm sorry, but it's too late. You've caused so much damage. I can never forgive you," which I think is completely fair, and it shouldn't be expected to get an overwhelmingly positive response given the situation we're currently in. I can understand the fact that people are saying, "Oh, we should welcome them with open arms." I completely get that, but when you for 10 years have been telling people to look around and observe the things that are right in front of their face, especially when the things are racism, misogyny, transphobia, hatred, homophobia, and they can't see it, after 10 years, you're gonna be like, okay, well, too little too late. I've been screaming it at your face and now people are dying. I'm sorry, but anyone that is a triple voter of that man is partially responsible for that. If your response to people rightfully criticizing you as someone that recently left MAGA is to now threaten to continually not vote in the way that is going to stop this stuff from happening, then you weren't deserving of forgiveness in the first place. Because clearly you still don't get it. I'm glad that there are people that are willing to forgive and move forward and, welcome these people with open arms, but it should not be the expectation that everyone is going to want to do that or be okay with it, especially with how many people have been killed, deported, imprisoned, and everything that we're seeing in our current climate. Forgiveness should not be the expectation. And if you are someone that left MAGA, we're very happy that you did that. I hope you continue to deconstruct and teach the people around you. You also have to accept the criticism and the fact that you have harmed hundreds of thousands of millions of people, and people are going to hold you accountable for that. Does that suck? Yes, but that's part of the deconstructing.
They don't mean it. They don't mean it. Anyone who posts a video crying, snot running down their face, saying, I voted for him 3 times and I regret it, and then turn around and say, why isn't anyone being nice to me? I told you I regret it. They don't mean it. They don't mean it. Because genuine regret means nothing unless it is followed with actions. Show me how much you regret it. Don't expect anything. Show me how much you regret it. What are you doing to fix the egregious errors of your ways? I made a mistake. Now give me a hug. Tell me it's okay. Coddle me. Don't hold me responsible for anything. That's not regret. That is jumping ship, joining what you assume is the winning side, and hoping no one's gonna notice me while I'm here. I can just blend in. And I don't want any responsibility. Because I'm just, oh my God, I'm just so sad, guys. I can't believe that. I can't believe I was I hope God forgives me. No, they don't. Now, I'm not saying that every single person who has, grown a brain and realized, hey, that was insane, or I was just evil and now I'm not. I'm not saying that every single one of those people is, a charlatan and is faking this. No, it's the people who are making these videos and then being like, why isn't anyone being nice to me? Because you don't mean it. Because you're a terrible person. And because we know that. That's why we do not owe you things. You owe everyone something because you are responsible for destroying this country. So no, we don't owe you kindness. We don't owe you anything. We don't say, hey guys, let's be nice to them. No. This is akin to someone saying, hey, this horrible thing happened to me. This person did it to me. And then you being like, okay, so stop making it weird. All right, just move on. Get over it. That's the same thing. So no, I don't buy it. I don't buy any video of anyone setting up the camera, crying, and then being like, I just made a horrible mistake, and please just show me some grace and kindness. No.
From that first video, of course, she was explaining how she was a MAGA supporter and then she decided to leave, and even encouraging like other people also to leave the movement. And she was in fact teaching other MAGA leavers on how to go about with it, on what to do, whether they receive negative comments, how they should not mind that, she was trying to help others also who are in her same situation. But later on, I think she got affected or she got touched just because someone who was also a MAGA supporter commented on one of her videos something that touched her. So I think that's why she went into tears. She was like, I wasn't expecting this backlash from you people, because when I was in MAGA, you were giving me the same backlash and even advising us to leave it and open our eyes. We need to wake up. So now that people have left that movement, again, people are still criticizing us. They are not sympathizing with us. They are not welcoming us like the way we expected. But this is not something that is just so easy for people to forget about, especially with what is happening right now in the US since last year. For those who have been following, things are just getting worse each day that passes by. And of course, people are bitter. Everyone is stressed about the way the economy is going. Nothing is working out, and so many things of immigration, deportations. People are losing jobs. The prices also are so high. People are bitter. If you have a family, you find yourself you can't feed your family. People are losing homes. People are living in cars just because of the economic crisis going on in the US and everything going on around the world. Yeah, she can't be blaming people. If you're leaving a movement or if you have left a particular party, you do it for yourself. It shouldn't be like you're doing it for other people to praise you or to, do what. you leave it for yourself because your eyes have opened up. You're seeing that what you voted for is not what is there. Of course, you regret, like, why did I vote? What happened? Why couldn't I see this? You blame yourself, but that is up to you. You're not helping anyone outside yourself. And of course, people will still have doubts in you, like, it is not so easy to trust someone who has been on the opposite side, because sometimes people can do it to pretend or just to fit in the society if they see that things are not working out, and maybe the majority are opposing it. So someone can just also come up and say, I've left the movement, I regret it so much. But while inside you, if elections were to be held again immediately, you would still vote for him. So there is that pretense also. You know, you need time. You need to prove to people with your actions. So this lady needs to just concentrate on her healing. Since she has been supporting it for 10 years, how do you expect people to just welcome you with open arms in 1 year or within a few months? It's not possible. It takes time also for people to trust you. So many TikTokers responded to her with pretty much blunt arguments. Empathy isn't something that you can just demand instantly, especially from people who may feel that they were negatively affected by the policies or rhetoric that someone supported. Of course, this is a normal reaction from people. Yeah, changing your mind is one thing, but expecting immediate forgiveness or emotional validation from people who felt harmed is another. And of course, that is where the debate exploded. Of course, people are happy that this lady left the movement. However, accountability also matters. And of course, judging by the reactions online, this conversation is far from over. Most of these people, I think they did not read about Project 25. They didn't read about so many things. They didn't listen to what he was saying. Once I begin work, I'll be deporting people. I'll be doing this. I'll be doing that. This will be changed. This will be what? And some people just took it for granted. Maybe they were just excited, but not putting into consideration what he was talking about or what he had laid out in his manifesto. And that is what is impacting so many people, so many lives, so many families, so many things that are going on right now in the US. And with that, I'll end here. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What do you think about this lady? Should people just trust her so easily? Are people right to react to her in the way that they are reacting? And if you found this video interesting, please give it a like. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and let's catch up in the next one.